Hello and welcome to the January 2016 Kula Yoga Shala Teacher Feature. This month we are hanging out on the deck with Jillian Arena, who is a recent graduate of our teacher training program and a new addition to the Kula Yoga Shala teaching staff. So welcome aboard.
Thank you.
For sure. Do you want to tell everybody maybe a little bit about your class and
Sure.
where they can find you?
My class is Tuesday nights on the beach at Marcinski Road at 5:30. It's beautiful. The first class was amazing. Right as the sun's going down, it's gorgeous. We're going to be kind of playing with a lot of different aspects of yoga. I'm obviously a new teacher, so I'm trying to kind of find my own niche and find the way I want to teach. So if you come, you'll be exposed to a lot of whole different smorgasbord of yoga.
I get to be Jillian's guinea pigs.
Exactly.
And one note about that class too is the time does change according to the season, as you know, with the sunsets and everything. So be sure to always check actually online, you know, especially when there's time changes. So you know that, and you know, we have these bios on our websites and everything where people can read about you, but it's a little dry and, you know, just reading words. And so the purpose of this is ultimately to give people a sense of who you are, what you're all about, you know, what your relationship is to yoga. So I was hoping maybe you could spend a few minutes just describing how you managed to find your way onto a yoga mat in the first place.
Okay. I first went years ago, maybe just after college, and I actually was not really thrilled with it. It was more of an exercise route that I had gone with one of my girlfriends. Didn't get back on a yoga mat for probably about 7 years, and when I finally did, it was at Kula, maybe 3 years ago, and I had never really been introduced to the spiritual side of yoga. I fell in love. I was going to the classes and I'm listening to what these teachers are saying, and it's just resonating, everything. Like, I believe that too, that's crazy. And I just fell in love. I was, you know, eating, breathing, and sleeping yoga, coming to as many classes as I could, whenever I could. 2 small children, so not always an easy task.
But much needed.
But much needed, exactly. And finally, it just seemed like the only next step to take was to go through the teacher training.
So now that you've done that, what's your connection like to this practice? Like, what's it actually about for you, and what do you hope to impart to, you know, the students that are coming to practice with you?
It's really become more than just an on-the-mat practice to me, which I can't say that it necessarily was prior to my teacher training. To some extent it was.
Sure.
But as I gained just a better understanding of the teachings and the philosophy behind it, it's really something that I've tried to bring into every aspect of my life. And the changes I've noticed just in the way I react to things, the way people react to me, the way I react to them, it's been an amazing transformation. I'm so happy. I just feel very liberated, and it's incredible. It's just it's a beautiful thing.
So I agree, and I know it can be beautiful, but I also know that it can be challenging.
Yes.
What is the most difficult part of the yoga path for you?
Probably patience, and I mean that as an all-encompassing patience with myself as I maybe try to apply the teachings to my life, and there are areas where I'm not so good at that. Maybe trying not to beat myself up so much about things that really need a lot of work. Patience also with other people who, you know, aggravate me, or situations that aggravate me. Patience in general, I think. I learned so much through the training that we did, and sometimes it can be frustrating if you're trying to explain it to somebody and they don't. What do you mean you don't feel that way too? You know, and so it's that's kind of been my biggest, just patience in general.
And I have another question. Actually, I have a lot, but maybe we won't ask them all today. Um, I know, teaching is new, but so maybe this is a little more of a projecting forward, but what do you think you will love the most about teaching yoga?
Well, eventually I would like to be involved in trauma yoga, which I had expressed to you. My goal through teaching yoga is really to bring peace of mind to other people, to teach other people that they are in control of how they react to things, and that they have a lot more power than they believe they do. It's something that I personally have struggled with, my personal power per se, and maybe not thinking that I had any. And when you realize how to tap into that and how to incorporate it into other areas of your life, you start to bloom, and it's a very cool process, and I want to be able to give those tools to other people as well.
Do you have an idea, like this 5-year plan, so to speak, in your head of what does Jillian's teaching practice look like if you were to go back and watch this video 5 years later? Where will you be then? Or is that attachment to outcome?
I think that's attachment.
Can you still have the direction without the attachment?
I have the attachment too, so let's hope I can let it go a little bit.
I guess my sense is just where are you guiding this?
I would love to.
Obviously, building off of what you just said with the trauma teaching.
Down the road in my perfect kind of world, I would love to have a trauma yoga center.
That's beautiful.
But I don't, obviously this is so fresh. I've been graduated for just over a week, so it's really new, but that kind of became my vision partway through the training, and it's something that every time I think about it, it just resonates and it makes me smile, and it's definitely something I'd love to be able to do. So
that's incredible. What a great idea. And it's interesting when sometimes we experience things and it's kind of like a shifting into place. And so while I hear you say it's new, I get this feeling from you like you're a really old soul, and I feel like maybe you've known the yoga teachings already, and this is like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, and it's kind of like a coming back to you. And so I just want to say, officially on, captured on the internet forever, that even though and you're a newer teacher, especially for the people watching, going, wow, that's really new. I don't know. Does she know what she's doing? Yes. I know. I watched you go through training. I understand what you grasped and the handle that you have on everything. I have the utmost confidence in you just as a person and as a teacher and a human being. And you just impart such light and positivity and strength, and I'm excited for people to take your class. So that's my testimonial. And just for the last part, if there's anything you would like to share with people, I know you mentioned you had some challenges like finding your way to this practice. So any words for people that are debating on whether to practice or not to practice, or maybe just going through some of those initial growing pains with it?
Yeah, I think if it's exercise that brings you onto your mat at first, then let that be it. But if you hear anything on your mat that does resonate with you, listen to it and follow that path, because there's so much to learn, not only about yourself, but about just life in general. And I was terrified to do the teacher training. Like I said, I was very not in my power, and it is the best decision I've ever made, just to follow this path and really encourage myself to keep learning. And there's so much to learn, and there's something that could resonate with everybody, so whatever it is that gets you on your mat the first time, just have the courage to keep going back to it, and don't be afraid to put yourself a little bit outside of your comfort zone. It's definitely worth it.
So the theme is do what terrifies you.
Yes. I've been doing it all week.
It's awesome. Thank you so much, Jillian.
No worries.
Namaste.
Namaste.